Hello there everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and today, well, I accidentally color coordinated, but today we're going to be talking about the e.l.f. Camo Concealers. This is another entry in my I Finally Tried It series. So I finally tried the e.l.f. Camo Concealers, finally. The original one that I have here, I guess it's just called Camo Concealer, the more matte one, Kat actually sent this to me, Kitty Cat Beauty. She sent this in our little beauty swap that we did over the holidays. So I finally got the chance to try this one. This is the shade Light Sand. And then when the hydrating one came out, I did purchase this myself. This is the shade Fair Beige. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. So let's talk about this one first. So this one gets a lot of comparisons to Tarte's Shape Tape. I personally don't like Shape Tape. I got a sample probably about this big in an Ipsy bag once, and I thought it was just blah. It didn't have enough coverage, and then the coverage it did have would blend away really quickly. I just didn't like it, and I never understood the hype on it. So I didn't think I was going to like this either, especially since people keep saying it's just like that. And I was like, well, I don't like that. I'm not going to like this. But I don't think this is like Shape Tape. I just don't, because I actually like this, and I don't like the Shape Tape. So it does come with a big ol' applicator here with it comes out, I think, with too much concealer, because the coverage on this stuff is insanity. I put a little bit on right here, and it'll cover my whole entire area right here. It's very high coverage. This could easily be used as foundation, as just like your one and done base product, and it'll cover everything though, and that's not usually my preference. I do have on a high coverage foundation today because I feel like I'm just getting like little bumps all over my skin, like red dots. I don't know. So I'm just trying to cover everything today. So I did put this on top of all the little dots, and I feel like it did a pretty fine job of covering them all up. I do only use this as a spot concealer, and a little goes a long way. You could go overboard with this really quickly. Every video I've seen of people using this, other than Emily, of course, just crazy amounts of concealer. It's all down here, in this huge thing. And I'm like, holy crap, what are you going to do with all of that? It's just sitting there. I don't know. I think a little goes a long way. Don't overuse it. I only use it as a spot concealer because it is just really heavy duty stuff. I have used this a lot as an eye primer as well, and I really, really like it for that. Because it is that high coverage thing, it cancels out all of my eyelid veins and whatever's going on there. Plus it dries down matte. It doesn't have any dewy or tackiness to it whatsoever. I almost want to say it feels powdery, it's that dry and that matte. It doesn't make my skin feel dry. It doesn't dry and then I'm like, ugh, what is that? It's very comfortable on my skin. A little bit goes a long way, and I really just use it for spot concealing, but I was really happy to try it, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. So, that being said, I have the satin finish one, the hydrating concealer in the shade Fair Beige. So this one does have the same type of applicator with too much concealer on it. I find these very, very similar. So the original one does go on matte, it's very obvious it's a matte concealer. This one goes on more dewy, and I wouldn't say it's hydrating at all. It's not making me feel hydrated. I don't know why they call it that. But it does go on very satin finish and very it looks dewy, like a dewy concealer. But when it's dry, it dries down and it looks exactly like this one. It looks exactly the same. So I don't really get the difference between them. The coverage I feel is exactly the same. This one dries down to look matte. As far as every time I've used it, it looks matte. The other day I wore one on one side and one on the other side, and the shades aren't exactly the same, but the finish was identical. They both dried down matte. So I don't know why it says hydrating or satin finish on it, because it does go on like that, but it doesn't stay like that. I don't know what it is. It's exactly the same as the other one when it's all said and done. So I think these are really nice concealers. If you like something high coverage, a little goes a long way. I use it for spot concealing mostly, because it is just a little too heavy duty for my preferences. As far as concealer goes, these are crazy high coverage for me. They both dry down the same. I think they both look matte on the skin. I think they're both very similar to me. They both have the same coverage. And I'm actually shocked at how much I like these because I really didn't think I was going to. And I actually didn't like this one at first because it was so annoying to blend. This one here blends out pretty quickly and pretty easily. The hydrating one, I think just because of the initial way that it goes on is very dewy. But this one I was having a hard time blending because when I would get my sponge, say I got it out and I like put a few lines right here. I would put the sponge on, and then when I would move the sponge to put it somewhere else, it would pretty much just pick up the same shape I put and then stamp it right here. And it was just like stamping it around, and I was so annoyed with blending. But I found now to blend this one the best for me is with the damp sponge, but I kind of press and then kind of like smear it, I don't know, but I kind of move it around a little bit first and then blend around rather than just tapping like this right away, because I feel like this just needed a little bit of help. But I do like these. They're high coverage. I'm enjoying them quite a bit. I'm glad I got to try them. Thank you, Kat, for sending me this. I've really been enjoying it a lot. And that's it. I like these. They're high coverage though. They're not for every day for me. And they're very similar, so I don't really know why there's two different ones. But that is it. If you have tried these, let me know what your thoughts are. Does this dry matte on you? Is it just me? I don't know. But let me know what your thoughts are on these concealers. If you've tried them, I know they're super popular and a lot of people's holy grails. They're not my holy grail, but there is a time and place for a heavy duty concealer, and these are definitely filling that void that I had in my collection of concealers. So I'm enjoying them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. As always, I love your comments, and I will see you tomorrow in another video. Bye.